going to Australia?
No.
For the month of September to study poop? We're more bacteria than we are human from a DNA perspective, which is... Are we in control mentally? Or is our gut in control?
That's insane. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am back with your favorite dietitian, Sarah, Fearless Big.
Oh my god, I just realized my shirt's kind of low.
Oh, so provocative.
Excuse me.
So as you guys know, if you do know, Sarah has been featured on my channel quite a few times. It's been a few months since I did a video with her. But basically, I mean, you can tell them what you do.
Yeah, basically, I mean, in one word, it's poop. Vaccination.
That is all she does.
That's it. It's just poop, so you can figure out from there how you want to interpret it. But really, it's about understanding what's going on in the digestive tract. There's so many people that I see that are bloated, have diarrhea, constipation. And when you start to dig down into the core root cause of it, it's usually something going on in the digestive tract.
Yeah,
so when we can create and balance, not create, but when we can rebalance that everything in your health and sometimes your life just starts to improve.
Yeah, definitely. And she's also, I talked about it in other videos, beyond that, she's been able to get down to the root of like eczema and things like that, skin conditions. So I really find it helpful to have her on here because I know so many of you guys get a lot of bad information, and this is somebody who studies this. This is literally her life's work. So I like to bring her on and just talk about things. So I think...
Did I tell you that I'm going to Australia?
No.
For the month of September to study poop?
Okay, so I basically went on Instagram. I asked you guys to send in some topics that you want because I figured we've done so many Q&As now. I thought it would be helpful for you guys to just send in a specific topic, and Sarah can basically, we can just have an open discussion. I'll ask questions along the way, and we'll just go for it. Okay, this one, I think this is a good topic. This is going to be like a 3-video series. There's going to be like 3 different topics we'll do, and they'll each have like a 10-minute spiel on it. So I think for this one, a good one would be from Steph_Monica, and it's managing IBS, tips and tricks to soothe and prevent a flare-up, sending love from Australia.
This is obviously a topic I love to talk about. I think as far as IBS goes, there's a lot of confusion within the conventional world about it because people come in, they have digestive issues, there's diarrhea, constipation, and the doctor will be like, okay, well, you have IBS, and good luck. Like, go forth and still have diarrhea and constipation. And so really from a functional perspective, this is when things can get really interesting with IBS because you can start to dig into the why. Why is that happening? Why are you having diarrhea? Why are you having flares? What's going on? So from just a functional perspective, when we think about testing, I'm always like, okay, well, either I want to look at their poop, not physically. Like I'm not like, poop in my hand and let me touch it. Like, no. But I want to do a microbiome analysis and see, is there dysbiosis? So is there an imbalance of bacteria? Is there more bad bacteria than good bacteria? Is there more yeast? We all have yeast in our intestines, and sometimes it can get out of whack. Just if we're stressed out, if we've taken antibiotics, if we've taken proton pump inhibitors, which are decreasing acid reflux symptoms. I see a lot of people on that. So that's definitely one thing I want to see. And then a lot of cases with IBS, I think it's like 60 to 70% of people with IBS actually have something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO, S-I-B-O.
Wait, this actually makes me want to ask you a question if you don't mind. So Riley, my roommate, we found out at the end of the day that it ended up being a parasite, but I guess without making it more about his situation, what would you say are common signs of IBS? Because, you know, it can be easy to mix something like a stomachache and diarrhea with a parasite or a stomach bug or IBS. So how do you, before testing, nail down that you should even be tested for IBS?
So usually I think about something that's been for an extended period of time. It could very well be a parasite. Those can give you those type of symptoms, which is why I still like to do stool tests when I get people that come in and they're like, I have no idea what's going on. A lot of times conventionally a doctor will look for a parasite before they give the IBS diagnosis.
Okay.
But once you get that IBS diagnosis, there's not a whole lot of things that the doctor typically will offer. Sometimes they'll do like an SSRI, an antidepressant.
Really?
Because that can actually impact serotonin in the gut, which is so fascinating.
Whoa.
I mean, that's like a whole other conversation just about what gut bacteria is making. So they're making our neurotransmitters, they're making vitamins, they're making short chain fatty acids. They're doing so many things that protect our health.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, when it comes to IBS management, a lot of times they'll throw in an antidepressant because that can help shift the motility in the gut based on serotonin.
That's because I take SSRIs, but I take it for depression. So I'm like, I couldn't even imagine. I would just never put that with gut health. That's so interesting.
It impacts the gut health in a really big way. And
have there been any effects or like studies to show if that ends up affecting the person's mental health as well, though? Like if it's something that maybe they don't need.
Well, sometimes they'll do low dose.
Okay.
And a lot of times what will happen is with gut issues, like hand in hand. IBS, usually, I can't say all the time, but usually you'll see a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
So they'll try to kind of mitigate the anxiety and also secondarily improve the digestive health with that. So that's a conventional technique.
That you were saying that the gut is what's producing our neurotransmitters and all of that. So the anxiety is a side effect because the body is not able to produce.
Yeah, so it's like really the mind-gut connection. I was like, the mind-gut connection is massive.
Yeah.
There's a big vein running down the back of our body called the vagus nerve. It's a nerve, not a vein, same thing. But there's a big nerve that runs down the back of our body, and essentially it's the communication pathway.
Wow.
So bacteria will be making neurotransmitters and shoot it up to the brain makes chemicals, shoots it down to the gut, and they're constantly talking. To the point sometimes where I question, are we in control mentally, or is our gut in control?
That's insane.
It's really fascinating to think about
I
that.
had no idea that the two were like even remotely connected. I thought they were just two completely separate entities, and it's clear that they are not.
They are like almost to the point where I'm like, maybe I'm biased, but I'm like, maybe the gut is actually like leading our decisions.
Right, that's an interesting theory.
It's really scary. It's like because we also have more bacterial DNA in our body than human. So when you like take a step back and break it down, we're more bacteria than we are human from a DNA perspective, which is we'll just let that sink in.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it just shifts the
We have
dynamic.
more bacteria DNA than the DNA that makes us.
So we have more, like, if you look at DNA particles,
Yeah.
so the DNA that codes for human cells, we actually have more because we have trillions of bacteria in our gut. So they're tiny, but there's still, when you look at the balance, there's more
Has it been like
bacteria.
that for all time, or is this like, is it growing more?
I would say it was probably more back in the day because now we've introduced antibiotics,
That's
we've
so
introduced
true.
all of these medications
Yeah.
in the efforts of eradicating infectious disease, and now we've kind of forgotten about the diversity and balance of our microbiome. And then we look at what we're eating, and we're not eating tons of vegetables, and we're eating a lot of processed foods, and that doesn't have the bacteria on it. It doesn't have the phytonutrients that are feeding the bacteria. So
That's
it's like
that's something I'm kind of in Sapiens, like it's, I think the tagline is like a brief history of mankind, and it really is because it touches on so much. And they do talk about, 13,000 years ago, there weren't those processed foods and they lived a lot healthier of a life. And now today we're like, I'm breaking down when we really don't need to be. We have way too many options now with foods and chemicals that didn't really exist before. And
it's fascinating. I mean, food is an industry, it's a business.
Yeah.
So I remember when I heard that Taco Bell had their fourth meal, I was like, no, don't advertise that. We don't need a fourth meal. We're good with 3.
Wait, as in fourth meal for the day?
Yeah, so they were advertising. It was like a campaign from a couple years ago, but they were like, Taco Bell at the fourth meal.
Oh no.
Like a post dinner.
No.
Like, please
Don't do this.
especially for people with IBS, and if there are issues with SIBO or this bacterial overgrowth, we have to give space between our meals.
Right.
So that's another thing. A lot of times people will be like, well, I'm just a grazer, I eat throughout the day. But if we have active digestive issues, sometimes that can actually make things worse.
Okay.
Because we're never able to fully clear out our intestines.
I kind of asked this, but I didn't. What would be some initial onset symptoms of IBS? Like if there's somebody watching this right now and they're like, do I have IBS? What would be some of the telltale signs to look out for?
Well, typically it is bloating, diarrhea, constipation, and they do have different
And so the
categories.
anxiety is
So yeah, anxiety, especially if you're having that reaction in your gut, can be another huge component of that. But there's IBS-D, which is more diarrhea focused, and then IBS-C, which is constipation focused. So there's different ways that they'll categorize it. But with SIBO, which is something I mentioned, this bacterial overgrowth, and that big link to IBS, that can be a big underlying reason people are having those symptoms. So there's bacteria actually in the wrong place in higher amounts than we need them. So they move from your large intestines up into your small intestines. And they eat the foods and they make the gas.
Oh,
and that's when you're like, oh, I'm so bloated.
What would be like 5 things for people who are currently struggling with IBS? What would be some 5 things that they can really work towards or adjust in their daily life to help, you know,
manage stress as much as humanly possible? I know that like it's not always the sexiest thing, but stress management will help alleviate a lot of digestive issues.
Okay.
So whatever that is for you, meditation, deep breathing, yoga nidra, anything like that. Coloring, I like to color.
I do too.
You can also try certain supplements. I typically tell people to start with a digestive enzyme, broad spectrum digestive enzyme.
Is that different from a probiotic? Okay.
Probiotics sometimes can make certain people with IBS worse.
Oh.
So that's just a
bacteria in it.
Yeah, because if you have that overgrowth of bacteria and you take more bacteria, it's like, woo!
Yeah, it's like 30 million strands in
It's
it.
like, yum, we're gonna use that and make you more bloated. So that's always, you could do a soil-based probiotic over a live strain. That would probably be a better option if you're concerned with bloating. So yeah, stress, digestive enzyme, I would say a soil-based probiotic, not live strain. Or you can do something, a single strain called Saccharomyces boulardii, which would be helpful. You can also try a low FODMAP diet. That's another thing. It's really challenging to do it. There's a lot of
Someone
different...
asked about that in here. What is that?
Low FODMAP basically removes fermentable carbohydrates. So there's 4 or 5 different categories of fermentable carbohydrates that bacteria is feeding off of it and making gas.
Oh.
So the whole thing is we want to kind of eliminate that bacteria.
I see.
And this is more for people with SIBO, but if you're having some IBS type issues, you can always try it. It's a little bit extreme. So what you can do instead, a lot of people have success with just eliminating garlic and onions. So I would say eliminate garlic and onions, maybe start to dig into low FODMAP, but don't do that for a long period of time because it decreases the amount of fiber that we have overall.
Gotcha.
And look at your poop would be number 5.
Yeah.
Just start to understand what is going on in your body.
How it's reacting
and what's
make
coming
adjustments.
out. Yeah, because if you look at your poop, and it's not just about looking at poop, it's just like look at your poop to connect to your body.
Right.
Because once you start paying attention to that, you'll start paying attention to other things. And it's really just about reconnecting with, okay, how do I feel? Not how is somebody going to tell me how I feel, but just like what's actually going on.
Gotcha. Well, guys, I think that's going to be it for this first chit chat video. I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. For those of you that struggle with IBS, obviously, I mean, even just people looking for a dietitian, Sarah is obviously amazing for this kind of thing. This is literally, I said it before, this is her life's work. She is so passionate about this. So if you are feeling like you need to find someone who really cares and really wants to make you healthier, this is the girl to go to. But there will be more videos coming out along the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. I'll have Sarah's links, her Instagram, all of that in the description box. Also the previous videos we've done, I'll have in a playlist. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!